Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is kind of the first installment of the Q&A, question and answer videos that, well, actually Kaylin and I plan to do one question and answer video, but a few of the questions that came in really couldn't be just given a quick answer and move on. And so because our schedules are kind of crazy right now, it's hard to get Kaylin and I together at the same time to do a video, and I know those of you who make videos, you understand that. I decided, I guess, that I would go ahead and answer one or maybe two of the questions that came in that I think are probably going to take a little bit more time to cover, just because there's some things that I need to show you. And so one of the questions had to do with cold weather layering, cold weather clothing, where I get my clothing to stay warm, because as a woman having been raised in Alabama, it actually does get pretty cold down here, and it's more of a wet cold than it is maybe up in the more northern climates where it tends to be a more dry cold. But honestly, I did not know what cold was until I moved to North Dakota after I married Kaylin. That was an eye-opener, okay? So one of the things that Kaylin promised me when I moved up there for a few years was that he would keep me warm. So at that time, we began to look for and to purchase super warm clothing that we could layer, and I began to study and research so that I could understand about warm weather, or staying warm in the colder weather. And so what you see here, and I'm going to change the angle of the camera so that you can see a little bit better, is the result of a lot of research and a lot of trial and error, and it's what works for me. Now, I will say that this layering that I'm going to show you works whether I'm here in the South. We're in Alabama right now. It's winter. We usually spend the winters in Alabama and the summers up in North Dakota with my husband's mother. I even wear these in the summer in North Dakota because at night it still gets in the 50s and sometimes even the 40s at night in North Dakota. And for me, that's pretty chilly. So let me change the angle of the camera just a little bit, and I'm going to show you. But before I do, I want to say one thing. I want to show you a couple of things about layering, a couple of different brands of wool long johns that I have. I'm going to show you some socks, long underwear, and some hats. So this is mostly about long underwear, so it's not like about gloves and jackets and stuff like that, but I am going to talk about socks because I feel like that is crucial. So let me change the angle and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sorry, we're going to have to deal with the headless talker so that I can get into the camera frame everything that I want to. I'm going to start with the wool caps here. I have two different, basically my favorite company is called Meriwoolayers. And I have ordered from Meriwool, I have ordered from a company called Mountain Warehouse, and then someone gave me a pair of wools, W-O-O-L-Z. The hats that I have are from Meriwoolayers. I doubt that's going to show up on the camera, but that says Meriwoolayers. This is, I think it's either 180 or 190 gram. This is nice for like if you're camping or backpacking and you need to wear a cap at night, say it's in the 40s or whatever, 50s even. This is very nice for that. But now if you get down into the colder weather, this is really not warm enough. So I have the heavier one, which I'm not sure if this is 250 or 400, I can't remember, but it's their heaviest wool cap. And I can't remember the percentage. We can look it up on their website and maybe leave it in the description. But it's much warmer than this one, and I don't know how well it's going to pick up on the camera, but you can kind of see the difference in thickness. You know, this one's going to be much heavier. It's going to keep you down to warmer temperatures. And if it's super cold, I'll just layer them. You know, I'll put this one on and then put the warmer one on over top of that. Now, something that I didn't really think that I would like as much as I do. I wear a lot of bandanas to kind of help keep my neck warm in the winter. But I ordered one of these neck gaiters, not thinking that I would really care for it. But I tell you, I reach for this thing almost every time we go outside, and it's cool, and I know when I don't have it on. And so it's just a tube basically that you pull over your head like a sweater, and it's just kind of like the neck of a turtleneck sweater, only taller, of course. But these I really like a lot. These again are from Meriwoolayers. 2 different grams. I think it's either 180 or 190, and this one is either 250 or 400. I can't remember, but it's the lighted. They only have 2 weights, I think, of caps on their website, and I have one of each. Now they do have a pair of liner gloves on their website. Don't waste your money. They're junk. They don't fit well. They don't stay on my hands. I do not like their liner gloves. Okay, next, since we're talking about periphery, we'll move to the socks. Now, I have socks here from several different companies, and the first one I'm going to talk about is probably the one that most people have heard about, and that's Smartwool. You can't really see it on the bottom of the sock. I think it's kind of worn a little bit. But I really like these because they're like a cable knit, but these are knee socks. They stay up nicely. They're very warm. They're very cushiony and comfortable. So Smartwool is a good product. Another one, and I do have some, but I don't have one with me because mine are packed somewhere, is called Darn Tough. Darn, like you darn socks together, Darn Tough socks. And those are very good. However, they do tend to be a little bit tight on the calves. They stay up, but they tend to be tight. I did a video called The Well-Clad Foot, and I talked about some military combat socks, and I still like those for warmth and durability, but I find that the tops of those, I'll put a link to that video in the description, the tops of those tend to be a little bit tight. And then these socks right here I got free when I bought a pair of hiking boots a while back. They're made by a company named Killik, Killik. And I tell you, the foot and the cushioniness of these socks and how they stay up is very nice, but they are a little bit tight in the cuff. And if you have large calves, these are going to squeeze you to death. And so, at least this particular one, I don't know that would be a good idea if you have large calves. Now, the Smartwool ones would be a little bit more forgiving if you have larger calves. That's got a little bit more stretchiness there. Okay, so that's those 2. And then Smartwool does have, the shorter socks. I try to wear wool socks year-round simply because your feet don't get all wet and yucky. They let your feet breathe. They keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So I'm trying bit by bit, anytime I need to replace an undergarment, long underwear or what have you, I try to go back with a good quality wool. Now these are merino wool. Both the hat that I showed you, these socks that I showed you, these socks from Smartwool are all merino wool. But now these right here are alpaca wool. And I get these off of eBay, but the company does have a website. It's Osungati. I think there's a mountain, I think it's in Peru. And I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, Osungati. It looks like Osungate. But the alpaca wool is softer. The tops are much more forgiving. But they also they're kind of, have a little bit of elastic in the top of the foot and around the ankle to kind of help them stay in place. I don't know how much I've worn these, but I wear these socks a lot. And I think I have 3 pairs of these in circulation. And the foot of these has extra cushioning so that it's very comfortable on the bottom of your foot. and they stay up well, and it's a much softer wool. The alpaca is softer, it's warmer, and it seems to be more rugged, more durable. I don't see any visible wear on the heels with these, but I'm telling you, I wear these things all the time. I even wear them, now granted, North Dakota summer, because we're up there in the summer. I wear these even in the summer in North Dakota, and they're a little bit of a heavier sock. I bought these anklets for my husband, and I think they ended up in the wrong, they look like they would fit me. Actually, I bought him, I think these are large, and I just bought him a pair of extra larges, and they are the ankle socks. So these are going to come up a little bit higher, so that's not going to shrink like these other ones did. But we'll see how these do. But if it's the same quality, you know, the cushy bottom, these are actually Meriwools. They're not Asangatis. He likes the Meriwools. They're very cushioned on the bottom as well. They also have the elastic to help keep them in place. The anklets that are size large, that these kind of shrunk a little bit. They tend to walk down his foot, but he likes to wear these at night. If it's really cold, he'll wear these on his feet at night. So these are the Asangatis, and he really likes these. They're very cushiony on the bottom. We're going to try the ankle socks from Meriwool and see how he does with these. Again, these are merino. The Asangati is alpaca wool. The alpaca is much softer and, to me, much more comfortable. But we're going to try these with him and see how he likes these. And maybe we can update at some point on these and let you know. I did just buy, Asangati has a very heavyweight sock, so I'm going to give this a shot and see how I like this. I wear my military boots a lot in the winter. Again, very forgiving here. It's the quality I expect from Asangati and from the alpaca wool socks. Just an amazing difference between the alpaca wool and the merino. Although I do like merino wool socks, I am totally spoiled. Now, with all of my wool, I have found that I can wash them like in cold water. These are just the medium weight Asangatis. I got another pair for me and a pair for Kaylin. He doesn't wear over the calf socks very much unless it's really cold. But I have found that I can actually wash these in cold and dry them in the dryer on low heat, and it does fairly well. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Kaylin likes the Meriwool boxer shorts, and I just bought him another pair. And these things are he says he feels like he doesn't have hardly anything on underneath. They're so comfortable. Whenever you get your stuff from Meriwool, it's got the tags and care thing, and a lot of times they'll have a 10% off coupon in there. Now, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies, and I don't get any kickback. I'm just showing you what has worked for us. So he loves these things and says that they're very comfortable, and they do help him keep him warm. He's very hot-natured, so he doesn't need a lot to help keep him warm. Now I'm going to move to the different layers of actual long johns and from different companies. Okay, let's see. Let me start with this one. This is from a company called Woolz, Woolz, and of all my long john bottoms, this has the most comfortable waistband. I will say that these are actually a large, and according to their charts, I'm pretty sure, let me just double check here. Yeah, that's a large. Now, these were gifted to me by a friend of mine, and she was bigger than me, obviously, but anyway, the waistband is incredibly comfortable. That's my one beef with all of these, is most of the waists are like this. Now, who has a waist like that? I'm sorry, but I like my stuff to be comfortable, and most of the waistbands are not, but this one is. But again, it's a large. And one beef that I have with all of these companies is most of these long johns are way too long. They need to consider petite ladies like me and have a petite section. The wools are very, very, very comfortable. WOOLZ. I doubt if you can see it. It's embroidered on the leg there, but maybe that will show up on the camera. I don't know. Wools. But this is probably about a 190, 180, 190 gram. But they are incredibly warm and, like I said, very comfortable. However, this pair of long johns is $150. That's nuts. That's insane. So if these had not been gifted to me, I would not own them, simply because I just can't pull the trigger on $150 for one pair of long john bottoms. So, you know, I enjoy them. They are a gift, you know, again. So anyway, okay, here is the second. This is actually the first company that I bought from, and this is called Mountain Warehouse. Okay, this company, Mountain Warehouse, was the first company that I ever bought from. Mountain Warehouse Extreme is what it says. I don't remember the weight of these, but they're very thin. And these are nice, actually. You can, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but you can kind of see through that a little bit. Very lightweight. The waistband on these, again, is not the most comfortable. It's a little bit narrow. It's probably about an inch wide, but it's a little tighter for me than I like to wear stuff not on my waist, but a little bit lower. I don't like anything on my waist. But they are comfortable when it's sort of not really cold, just kind of chilly, just kind of a lightweight, even North Dakota summer evening, you know, when it's starting to get down in the 50s and 60s. These are nice. And here I have the Mountain Warehouse lightweight top. This was one of the first tops that I bought several years ago. The thinness of it is not threadbare. That's actually, you know, you think you wasted your money when you get it, but they're incredibly comfortable and very lightweight. And you can wear them for several days before the armpits start smelling on them. They actually do wick moisture and help with the sweat and stuff. I like the zip collars. It helps keep my neck warmer. And let me show you the heavier weight one from Mountain Warehouse quick. That's this purple looking one. I love the color. This one's a little bit heavier weight. I don't know. It's probably like 250 grams. But this is also Mountain Warehouse, and I like it. I really like the ones that have the collar, the zip collar that come up, but you don't need that all the time. So I have a few that don't have. This one that I have on here is kind of a button up. I'm not sure if it's picking up on the camera, but anyway, it's a button up. I wear it. It's a small. Most of these are size medium, I think, but I got a couple of smalls because they fit tighter, and that helps, you know, to trap the warmth next to you better. One thing I will say, if I compared the wools and the Mountain Warehouse, the wools are much softer. The Mountain Warehouse long johns are a little bit scratchy. Not bad, but they're a little bit scratchy. The softest probably I would have to say is the wools, but my hands down all-around favorite is by Meriwoolayers. And you can see some of the different colors here. These are some that I wear at night. This is a zip collar, you know, kind of helps keep my neck warm at night and stuff, because I'm kind of a cold sleeper. So anyway, just some different colors there. And then I have these are mediums. I have a small that fits a little bit more snugly. I don't like anything to fit tight, but when it's really cold, it's nice to have that layer really, really close next to your skin, and then put something a little bit looser over it. Now, these are this is a mid-weight, 250 gram. I don't remember if I have a Meriwoolayers in the really lightweight. I don't think I do. Oh yes, I do. This one that I'm wearing, but I'm not going to show you that one. So anyway, these are the bottoms that are the Meriwool think this is 250 gram. You can see the waistband is a little wider. These are mediums. I buy the mediums. Actually, in the leg length, the small would fit me much better, but then the waistband is like this, and it's too tight. I don't like anything tight. I like it. I'd rather it be too loose than too tight. You know, I mean, I don't want it to fall down, but you know what I mean. So these are extremely comfortable. These are comfortable down to probably mid-30s. You know, that weight with nothing else, just these. And so then, and this top was gifted to me by the same individual who gave me these. Actually, it was a friend of mine who passed away, and so they're very special to me. But this is a 400 grams, so this is more of a sweater weight, and it doesn't have the zip collar. But I'll show you. Actually, the one that I'm wearing is the 400 gram. Sorry, messing with the microphone there, but this is a heavier weight that has the zip in it. This is just the pullover, and I wish that you could feel the texture of these to see the difference. Like, for instance, between this 250 gram and this 400 gram, there's quite a difference in thickness. So if you wore this underneath the 250 gram with this 400 over it, that's a lot of warmth right there, okay? And another thing that I like to do, I also have the heavy 400 gram bottoms. Now, if it's getting down here in Alabama, if it's in the 20s and windy, the humidity is 80 or 90, it's cold. That's very cold. And so I will wear these 250s with the 400 on top, and I am toasty, especially if I wear like my Asengatis. Okay, very, very nice. Another thing I like to do, say, would be to wear this 400 gram next to me, or the 250 gram that fits a little more snug. And this is actually almost as warm as this if you layer it right. If you put this 250 gram, and then you take so you've got wool next to you, but then you take a polypropylene. This is just a regular poly partial zip, and you can even do the full zip. But if you put one of these poly on top of this wool, it is incredibly warm, and it helps to wick that moisture right away so that you don't have problems. You know, your enemy is when you sweat. When you get hot, you sweat, and then if you have cotton underneath, then that's going to just keep that cold, wet right next to you. The wool and the polypro are going to get that moisture away from your skin. So I hope this is helpful. And, you know, I know that wearing wool next to your skin, it's very helpful, very, very healthy for us. But I know that it's a little bit cost prohibitive. So what I do is I try to save my money. I try to wait for the sales like after Christmas or before Christmas or Black Friday or whatever. I try to save up my money so that when those times come, I'm ready and I can buy whatever K-liner I need, whether it's socks or another top or another pair of, you know, underwear. These right here, they're not cheap. I think they're like, I don't remember what I paid for these. I think they're like $25 for one pair. And you think, well, that's nuts. Well, I'll tell you, when it's like a short long john for him, they keep him cool when it gets too warm. They keep him warm when it's very cool. They last a long time. They don't stink. They don't wear like other stuff does. They don't chafe. They're very comfortable. Again, they last a long time. You know, to me, it's worth it, and it's a material that's very healthy to have next to the skin. So a top like this, I think I paid like $45, you know, and yeah, that's expensive. This top here, which is the heavyweight, the 400 grams like this one that was given to me, I think these are like $80. And yes, that's a lot of money. But, you know, pray, because God gave me these. I didn't have to buy this pair. He gave me this $150 pair of wools. So, you know, He knows our needs, and He will provide for us if we just put before Him what we need. You know, I believe it's better for us to wear these healthy materials next to our skin. Recently, we went to linen, I think it's a linen cotton blend for my husband for the summer, because he gets very overheated. And so you just have to save up and just buy quality when you have to buy something. You know, we live very frugally otherwise, and so when we need something like this, we buy the best quality that we can afford at the time. So whether it's the caps, the gloves, the neck gaiter, this right here was a game changer for me in keeping warm outside, is this neck gaiter. I really have enjoyed this thing. So anyway, I hope this helps. I'll leave links to where I find the Meriwool is www.meriwoolayers.com, I think. And wools, you'll just have to Google that. I think it's probably woolz.com. Again, not sure I would pull the trigger, although these are incredibly comfortable. They are very comfortable. I just don't know if I could do $150 for one of those. But if there's one thing that I mentioned today that I definitely would say switch to, is these alpaca wool socks. The alpaca wool are just incredible. They're even warmer than Meriwool socks. I mean, than the merino wool socks, and they're incredibly comfortable. And I think I've said enough, so I'll end for now. I'll leave some links in the description below. And Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video.